Okay, let's get back to Chrissy Teigen and the stuff she loves to talk about on Twitter. I am about to Anthony Weiner this kid. What could that possibly mean? Who is Anthony Weiner? Sentenced to nearly 2 years in prison for sexting scandal. Anthony Weiner sentenced to 21 months in prison for sexting with a teenage girl. Oh. Well, she said this in 2011, and this guy got arrested in 2017. What? What could she possibly have knowledge about? Well, let's check out this talk that Sidney Powell did at Hillsdale College. See what else is going on with Anthony Weiner.
And of course, you realize the reason that Hillary had to be protected was because he was writing her on that secret server using an alias, which shows that he damn well knew and had approved in advance her use of the secret unsecured server. On top of that, there's the Anthony Wieners Laptop, which I don't know if you heard this. I wrote an article about that too. 675,000 Clinton emails when they got Anthony Wieners' laptop in a search warrant because of all his sex perversion issues. It was all the Clinton emails, the Clinton Foundation, her Secretary of State emails, Huma Abedin's emails. Lots of people emailed Huma as a proxy for Hillary, and it included what Comey called the sorry, I must wave my hands more than most people. The golden emails, because they were the BlackBerry backup emails that they were supposedly just looking for everywhere very diligently. Well, guess what they did when they found them on the Wiener laptop? They got a search warrant for things that didn't include the BlackBerry backup emails. So when they told us, when he stood there and said that day, oh, you know, we've reviewed all the emails now, there's nothing there, that was a bald-faced lie. They specifically did not look at the BlackBerry backups, and they didn't look at a fraction of the emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop. So one of the things, if I were the president, I'd do is demand the Anthony Weiner laptop and get it to the most trusted person in the military to take apart everything on it and then start using it. There's a lot that can be prosecuted, I have no doubt, on that laptop. In fact, I heard that the New York police officers who saw some of it, even though they're hardened investigators, literally had to go throw up. It's bad.
Anthony Weiner was married to Huma Abedin, a very close associate to Hillary Clinton. In fact, she's been a close aide to Hillary Clinton since 1996. The things on his laptop have a lot to do with what the Clintons are up to. Oh, the story gets more interesting. How about this guy? Meet the man behind Hillary Clinton's campaign, John Podesta, interviewed in Washington, November 9, 2012. On the wall in his office at Hillary Clinton's Brooklyn headquarters, campaign chairman John Podesta has an oil painting on loan from his lobbyist brother, who is an avid art collector. The image shows two men hunched over a dining room table bearing knives and forks. On the table lays a man in a suit who looks vaguely like Podesta. It's better to be the guy with the fork, Podesta quips to his colleagues if they ask about the image, than the guy on the table. Oh, there it is. There it is, folks. When you go to work at the office, isn't it amazing to have something like this on the wall? Some dude being cannibalized? And your boss making jokes about how you got to be the guy with the fork? Hoo-hoo! More sophisticated comedy by these very powerful elites. Oh, yeah. Some more artistic expression going on here, folks. You shouldn't do this kind of stuff. It's mean. You know, these celebrities work super hard for the benefit of everybody. And why would you ever do something like this to such an amazing man and his art that he loves hanging on the wall? All right. The John Podesta emails released by WikiLeaks. Do you guys remember this? Happening during the 2016 election? All the Russia stuff and how they hacked the election? Well, this is what they're referring to. Because John Podesta gave up his password to somebody who wrote him a phishing email saying that he needed to reset his password. and got a ton of his emails. In his emails, there were some very interesting phrases that people were picking up on, which have nothing to do with anything nefarious. This is just crazy conspiracy nonsense, but let's take a look and see what's there. This is him talking about getting a pizza for an hour, which is something everybody does. Everybody, sections off about an hour of time to go get a pizza. It's just totally normal. You've got this person, Eric Eisenstein, Fred Burton, to Don Kirkendall, with Eric Eisenstein CC'd on the email. What's he saying? Getting ready for Chicago Hot Dog Friday. I think Obama spent about $65,000 of the taxpayers' money flying in pizza and dogs from Chicago for a private party at the White House not long ago. Assume we are using the same channels. Okay, this is just throwing a wonderful party for Obama. It has nothing to do with anything nefarious. Pizza and hot dogs are not code words for anything. And obviously, when you guys throw a party on the weekend, it's normal to spend at least $20,000 on pizza and hot dogs. They throw an even bigger party and they're elites, so they're going to spend a little bit more. Okay, so $65,000 for them, around $20,000 for us. It's just normal. Okay, this is normal stuff. Don't look into it at all. That's for crazy people. Okay, you got another email from this lady, Tamara Lozado, who is talking to John Podesta in this email exchange, in which she wrote, "With enormous gratitude to advanced man extraordinaire Haber, I am popping up again to share our excitement about the reprise of our gang's visit to the farm in Lovettsville. And I thought I'd share a couple more notes. We plan to heat the pool, so a swim is a possibility. Bonnie will be Uber service to transport Ruby, Emerson, and Maeve Lozado, 11, 9, and almost 7. So you'll have some further entertainment, and they will be in that pool for sure. And with the forecast showing prospects of some sun and cooler temperatures of lower than 60s, I suggest you bring sweaters or whatever attire will enable us to use our outdoor table with a pergola overhead so we dine al fresco and ideally not al cello." What a hilarious joke. Now, when you're an elite person and you're getting into the pool, you just need to know that there will be children in that pool, not because you're doing anything creepy, but it's because you're an amazing, elite, powerful person. And when elite, powerful people have get-togethers, they just need to make sure that children are safe. So when this 11, 9, and 7-year-old are out in the world somewhere else, they're not safe. So they must be brought into this pool so that they can be made safe by this elite person, John Podesta. Because when he's throwing this party, he definitely needs to make sure that he is in the pool with these children for their own protection, okay? Stop with all the nonsense and conspiracy theories. Oh, Marina Abramovic talking to Tony Podesta, the brother of John Podesta. "Dear Tony, I am so looking forward to the spirit cooking dinner at my place. Do you think you will be able to let me know if your brother is joining? All my love, Marina." Oh, isn't that nice? Interesting how these people are all connected, but it's not relevant to anything. It's just a coincidence. They just happen to know each other. There's nothing nefarious going on here, especially when Marina Abramovic writes on the wall, "With a sharp knife cut deeply into the middle finger of the left hand, eat the pain." Okay. This is just amazing performance art. And I'm so sick of people thinking that this is evil. It is not evil. It is artistic. Okay. And here's John Podesta holding up his hands with 14 and a fish. Okay. And just looking at his fingers, you could tell that he's, he takes great care of himself. He's an amazing person. He wouldn't ever be doing any of this kind of stuff. I mean, just look at his fingers. Aren't they just perfect and awesome? Okay. He would never do weird stuff like this, which is actually not weird at all. It's just artistic. Okay. They're not literally doing these things. She's just writing it on the wall so, they could take these pictures and spread them around and say, "Hey, look at the awesome art that's on the wall." Okay. Nothing nefarious going on here, folks. Moving on to Tony Podesta. This is the brother of John Podesta doing a spread in Home Life magazine. This is his home. You could see this absolutely incredible piece of art hanging in his front foyer, which is called the Arch of Hysteria. Okay. A headless body contorted in what some people have said the pose of Jeffrey Dahmer victims. So if you ever research Jeffrey Dahmer and look at how he posed his victims when he cut their head off, it's very similar to what we're seeing here, but there's no connection whatsoever, because there never would be a connection with powerful people like this who want to put amazing art in their home. It's not nefarious at all. It's just a coincidence, okay? When Jeffrey Dahmer was doing all that messed up stuff, it has no relevance to elite people and the stuff that they're into. It's just a coincidence. The artist was just like, hey, this would be amazing, and this dude put it in his house because it's awesome. All right, here's the spread in the magazine. Let's read through some of it. If you ever dreamed of strolling through a museum with a slice of pizza and a glass of wine in hand, you need to befriend super lobbyist Tony Podesta, known about town as a legendary political fix-it man. Podesta has turned his Kalorama home into a shrine to contemporary art, ranging from relatively under-the-radar artists such as Serbian painter Biljana Đurđević to those who are much better known, like French sculptor Louis Bourgeois, which is this sculptor right here. That's from Louis Bourgeois. Such an amazing piece of art. The collection got a rather accidental start. After taking a 50% pay cut for his work during the last 9 months of Ted Kennedy's failed 1980 presidential election, Podesta ended up being handed a tube of artwork donated by major Kennedy-supporting artists of the day, such as Roy Lichtenstein and Jasper Johns, in lieu of his foregone salary. He didn't bother to open for 5 years, but when he did, what he found were gems. Wow. I walked away with 10 or 12 pieces in that tube, including my first 2 Rauschenbergs and my first Warhol, Podesta says. Though his collection currently stands at 792 works and rising as he still actively buys, only about 10% is displayed at any one time in the house, as Podesta prefers to rotate artwork annually. However, his first major purchase, a nearly 2,000 pounds bronze sculpture by Bourgeois called Arch of Hysteria, is never taken down. Over the years, he has donated more than 1,300 pieces to local museums, including the Corcoran Hirschborn Katzen Center at American University, National Gallery of Art, National Portrait Gallery, and the Phillips Collection. His largest donation stands at 505 pieces to the National Museum of Women in the Arts. In New York City, he has donated to the Museum of Modern Art in the Whitney. Last year alone, he gifted more than 200 works. My plan for the collection is to donate it slowly over the course of my lifetime to museums and to give the rest away after I pass, Podesta says. People who enjoy success should be giving back and sharing the gifts they have received. Oh, isn't that so nice of him? Most of my philanthropy occurs in the art world with my donations. So it's not money laundering at all. It's just donations, okay? He has dedicated himself solely to contemporary works. Bourgeois is one of only 2 deceased artists represented in the collection and prefers to buy from the same artists once he establishes that he likes their work. Currently, he has collected from 40 different artists in some depth, with his top 5 being Marina Abramovic, Vic Muniz, Bourgeois, Olafur Eliasson, and Anthony Gormley. My personal style aesthetic is spare and clean, as the art was always intended to be the centerpiece of the house, Podesta says. Though he purchased the 7,000 square foot residence in 2006, he was not able to move in until 2009, as it took nearly 3 years to finish the massive renovations he undertook, mainly to better accommodate his art. The house is in the historic district and situated across from Rock Creek Park, so it is subject both to the regulations of the Historic and Fine Arts Commission. Podesta says basically that meant that the facade of the house could not change, but the interior style was more traditional and segmented than I envisioned, with a hunch of small rooms everywhere. I worked with an architect to tear the insides out completely. Essentially, we rebuilt everything from scratch within the existing 3 walls of the old house and made it much more open. Podesta is constantly on the move. The day we met, he was dashing home from a Hillary Clinton fundraiser and preparing for an early morning flight to his vacation home in Venice the following day. Not to mention the rapid-fire nature of his work as founder and chairman of the Podesta Group, whose client roster includes such high-profile names as Blue Cross Blue Shield, Walmart, Wells Fargo, and Lockheed Martin. Because of his busy schedule, he needs his house to be a refuge from daily stress. While its open floor plan and rather sparse decor can give off a museum vibe, particularly in the basement, where white-walled rooms are lined with glass containers of shelved art highlighted by recessed lighting. Podesta's feelings towards his guests are far from cold or regimented. He regularly opens his house to casual pizza parties, co-hosted by his friend James Alefantis. Oh, the owner of Comet Ping Pong. Over 200 pies emerge from the outdoor pizza oven as guests wander through the house and garden while studying his art collection. Podesta knows what he likes, makes room for art in most every part of his life, and wants to share it with those around him. Oh, isn't that so nice of Tony Podesta? Let's take a look at this artwork that he has. The Arch of Hysteria. We talked about that a moment ago. And these art pieces. Yeah. Check it out, everybody. Isn't it wonderful and amazing? I wonder what this is all about. Ooh. Isn't this some more absolutely incredible and amazing art? Wouldn't you want this hanging in your home? Yeah. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Look at that. I wonder what that's supposed to represent. Such wonderful art. Check it out, everybody. Wouldn't you want this hanging in your home? Yeah. Yeah. This is hanging in the dude's home. Okay. These are pieces that are featured in the Home magazine. Yeah. And these are just a few. I could spend hours on this dude's art collection, which is totally amazing, everybody, okay? Don't ever think anything nefarious is going on here. Why would you think anything nefarious is going on here? Look at this stuff. Isn't it awesome and amazing? Wouldn't you want this in every art museum ever? Gosh, aren't you jealous that the dude is putting this in his home and not out in the museums where we could all check it out? Yeah. Well, some people started to notice the tiling in these photos and connecting it to a house that's owned by the Vanderbilt family, which has a pool in it with these tiles. And this is just totally crazy nonsense. People like Anderson Cooper, who is part of the Vanderbilt family, with the awesome and amazing toddlers and tiara in the background there. This is a shot of Anderson Cooper with his mother and his brother, who died, unfortunately. You can look that up. But what's over the headboard of the bed that they're in? What is that? Oh, what? Again, nothing nefarious is going on here. This is just random art. Some dude burning in a box with a witch above him and a headless, some dude's head floating around. Yeah. As mommy reads him a story. Isn't that nice? But again, this is nothing to worry about. There is no connection to the tiles in these paintings and the pool in this home. And if you ever think that there is anything nefarious going on, you're just a crazy conspiracy theorist. Okay? These are very rich and sophisticated people, and you just don't understand their artistic expression. Okay? You just don't get it, folks. You just don't get it. All right.